KILR Killer Games.
Hello, gamers, simmers, and pilots. I am the Killer Gamer, and welcome to my tour across the world with a classic flight simulator, Flight Simulator 5.1 by Microsoft for DOS, which we are playing in DOS box, which works pretty fine. And, well, what are we going to do? What are we going to fly to? Well, let's talk about that. Okay, so here we go. Here's the map, and this is where we're at, Waterloo. And this is where we're going to go. We're going to go to Dubuque. And this is going to be along the Mississippi River. And as far as getting there, well, we can simply, once we can tune this in, 115.8. Now let me verify that is the correct one, because that is the Commodore 64 map, and there's been maybe a couple that were not correct. Dubuque 115.8. Okay, so we're good to go on that. But we'll let's see, we got DME on number 2, but I'll change. We'll leave at a vector of, I don't want to go past it, 095. That should do it. And then I don't know if we'll, 095 is probably fine. Once we get to the river, we should be able to see Dubuque. I mean, that's kind of like a visual aid, if anything. All right, so let's see here. We want 112.20, and we're going to set that as 095. And there we go. And then Dubuque was 115.8. Oh, there we go, 75 miles. So we got a bit of a flight on this one. Don't think we're going to worry too much about the vector on this one. We'll worry about that when we get there. I guess I'll go ahead and put 240 when it centers. Well, we'll know where we should see the airport. If we don't see the airport, there's a problem. All right. And we have some local ATC with Waterloo. And we also have... Nope, I'm sorry. I was not able to find any local ATC for Dubuque. So that's going to have the generic ATC chatter. All right. So we need to get that started by going to our Adventure Factory. In case you don't know how you get this into Microsoft Flight Simulator 5 and 5.1, you have to have a flight shop from Bayo. You should all know what flight shop is. It was pretty classic program, like must-have program. Nope, that's not it. But Europe 2. I had this a while ago. I need Europe 3. That's what I need, is Europe 3. Where's my box here? Here it is. Okay, so you need this, all right? Flight shop. This adds the ability to have adventures. And this is only with 5 and 5.1. Windows 95, Flight Simulator 98, all those started having adventures after that. But for this one, you have to have Flight Shop. Otherwise, there's no way to run the adventure, because that's exactly what this is. So we're going to want to go up here, and you can do just the chatter, but I like to do it with some random weather. We're going to be off for a while, so I'm going to go and put our high ARTCC. We're not going to go as high as they think we're going to go, but I figure, you know, if we're going to be tuning in the center, then I'm just going to have it high ARTCC. And we should be ready to go. Hopefully we will hear some ATC here soon.
72I2 at the Minneapolis 0453 observation, wind 040 at 3, visibility 10 miles.
That sounded weird.
View at 900, overcast 1,300, temperature is 9, dew point 08, and altimeter 3014.
By the way, I'm dressed up a little bit with a collar. My wife and I went out tonight actually. We went to Claim Jumper. And I'll bring up their menu. I'll show you what it is that we had. See, we do more than just fly. Yeah, we talk and chat, and you get to know something about me, and well, I hope you'll share something about yourself in the comments. Which direction do we want to go? All right, we want to turn. Well, we want to go to the end here and then turn around. Okay, so this building that you're seeing here, I placed that. That's by using this other program from Bayo, the Scenery and Object Designer. I had to buy 2 of them because the first one didn't have a manual. And out of fairness, the guy that sold it to me didn't know there was one. But considering the size of the box and the fact that Flight Shop had a thick manual, I knew that one had to. And then I found someone who was selling one, brand new, never opened. And yep, had the manual, even had a floppy disk in there with a README. Why do you need a floppy disk with a README? I don't know. I suppose the floppy is to say, you put in there README. And important, you need a CD-ROM drive to install this. That's the only thing I can think of. Just seems weird.
I'm clear to the Chicago airport via Benner, Flight 4. Climb maintain 4,000, expect flight level 210, manifest departure. Departure frequency is 118.9, squawk 4335.
Via Benner, Flight 4, 4,000, 210, 10 after, 18.9 and 4375, or 4335 for Envoy 4085.
Envoy 4085, read back this correct.
Thank you. Ground Envoy 4085, thanks.
Level down, runway 36, taxi via Alpha.
30, runway 36.
Envoy 485, runway 30, taxi via Alpha.
Setting our flaps for takeoff. And our comm radio just switched, so we should be hearing tower.
485, none that we're aware of, just interrupt with.
Okay. 2.5, 1 minute.
Roger, advise ready. For departure, hold short, runway 30.
Alright, we'll go. We'll hold for the 30 from 140.
Just a moment. Give me a second. I'll give a protocol.
116 uniform. Go ahead, sir.
Guess they're going to be quiet. So let's go ahead and take off. And I placed that really big, dark roof thing over here. So I'm saying that's kind of evidence that I did this because I wasn't trying to. I was just starting off with, and I didn't use a Cerny Object Designer. I was actually using something from Pilot Shop called Make BGL. Oh my goodness! Come on, up you go. Where you edit a text file and then convert that to a BGL, and so that's how I started. And I was, because I didn't have the manual for the one program. But using that text file, and maybe I'll show that if I can find the information. Show you what it was that I used.
25 to 30 miles to keep me advised when you're able to proceed direct to Tram. Way 4197 exactly, you clear direct to Bradford, Bravo Delta Foxtrot when you're able. Way 4197, Roger, is moderate heavy precipitation at 12 o'clock and about 5 miles. There's several small cells sitting out there. Moderate heavy extreme out at 11 o'clock. Between 11 o'clock and about 10 miles, that's a couple miles in diameter. There's another line about 40 miles, 50 miles out in front of you. You probably have to deviate around that too, so keep me advised.
I'm just listening to the chatter before we... Once we move our flaps up, it's going to change the radio to departure. Alright, let's set it for 5,500.
Here's 4596, to your heading.
Well, it won't switch us yet. It switches us when we pass 2,000.
12 o'clock and about 15 miles. That's about 10 miles in diameter. You're 59, go.
Keep your eye on the comm radio. It'll change. When you see it change, we'll be on departure.
I'll have that for you in just a moment. Player present heading to down for traffic.
And it's 2,000 above ground level. So it should change right around 3,000 on the altimeter.
See you tomorrow. 97, Roger, climb, maintain level 230, fire for shortly.
Oh, we've passed our radio here. Get back on course.
Course is approved and we'll clear direct to Moline Airport when you're able. Secretary 4596, clear direct to Moline Airport. Moderate heavy precipitation around the Iowa City area extends to the northeast. From there, it's pretty scattered cells. Another line just
You
west
see, he
of
was
Moline
talking about
Airport,
Iowa City.
Up towards Milwaukee.
See, so these are the local lines.
210.
And it looks like our radio just changed to departure. So the next time it changes, it'll change the center. And that will be 4,000 above ground level, so expect it around 5,000. That's why I set the autopilot for 5,500. And that's it.
1211, contact Chicago Center 128.52.
So he's directing him to Chicago Center. Alright, let me go and just pull up the menu here, while I'm going over this, it's like the simulator is paused. Okay, so what we got these Parmesan garlic onion rings, which were really good. We didn't get the Sriracha Honey Ranch. I asked for it, but they were saying, well, no, we have to update our menu. I'm like, really? What else did we get? Crap. What was it that we got? Oh, it was something to do with bacon. Oh, it's not on here. Unless I'm on the wrong menu. This might be the lunch. No. Okay, so they had like this candied bacon, which was relatively interesting. I think this one is an older menu. I don't know. My wife had gotten clam chowder. And as far as burgers and sandwiches, I got... where is it? This right here, the Wagon Master Burger. Boneless pork ribs, bacon, barbecue sauce, sriracha sauce, chipotle, aioli, Gouda cheese, fire stick onions, lettuce, tomato, pickles. That was awesome. I couldn't even eat the whole thing. I had to cut it in half. So it's going to be my lunch tomorrow. And my wife, she got... oh, what was it? I believe she got this shrimp fresca pasta, but there was something about it that she didn't like. It had an odd taste to it. And I had some of that shrimp, and it might be this light lemon butter sauce. I don't know, but it's not like it was bad, but it was different, and my wife's taste buds are very sensitive. So she wound up going with the fish and chips, which is somewhere on here. So, and then for desserts, we got this berry butter cake. Because this was new, this different. This is something that we haven't had before. They didn't have this, and it was really good. And we usually share a dessert, but yeah, it was kind of like it's like a butter cake, but it almost had like a crumb cake kind of in a way, with the berries inside. Oh, it was really good. So we've had this before, the chocolate motherlode cake, but from what we remember, it was kind of dry, and that maybe we just had a bad day. I don't know. I thought about getting the cream cheese pie. Yeah, they don't have the one that was on the menu. It was like a raspberry white chocolate cream cheese pie, but they have everything else, pretty much. So, well, back to our flight. So yeah, that's what we did. We had a gift card, and so we used that. Now I don't know if you know about this or not. When it comes to tipping, doing proper tipping, if you've got a coupon or you got a gift card or whatever, to bring the bill down, you don't tip based off of that total. If your $60 bill winds up being $10, you don't tip off of $10. All right. You may have gotten a discount off of your price, but you know what? Your server and your server worked just as hard. So you're supposed to tip on what the actual price was before the discount was taken off. So, like for us, it was like a $60 bill, and
Descending.
I went ahead and gave her 15 bucks. I think I know like that's more. I'm trying to remember what percentage that is. That's not exactly 18%, but we're a little strapped for cash right now until one of my paychecks comes through. But still, $15 is a pretty decent tip. I've waited tables before, and man, I wish I would get $15 tips. I guess people just didn't like me. I don't know. I'm a likable person, I think. Okay. Well, now we have a white screen. I believe we are on center now.
25 for Hector. Once those we get it. Building 305. Roger. And receiving Hector. Proceed direct Hector. Hector transition. Maintain flight level 350. Expect runway 25. Profile descent. Pilot 305. Thank you. Canada 793 Heavy. Descent at 5 discretion. Maintain flight level 240. Canada 793 Heavy. Down to 240. Miles discretion. Building 305 Republic. I would like to keep your speed at surface speed.
Apollo 305, Roger.
We're going to raise our altitude. We need to get above the clouds. Can't be flying in this. I tell you what, though, after the restaurant, I feel kind of stuffed. That's why I got a Coke. It's for the carbonation. Kind of get some of that gas out. I got the idea from L.A. Beast. If y'all watched L.A. Beast, he does these, he's a professional eater, and he does these challenges and stuff. And he usually has a club soda, so it helps him belch and make more room to be able to eat more. So it kind of made me think of that. L.A. Beast here. Today, I'm gonna drink 100 Coca-Colas. Why? How? Like a boss. Have a good day. That dude is awesome. I would love to meet him in real life, man. He is like freaking chill.
Center United 55 Heavy at 390. 55 Heavy, then Roger, flight level 390.
Come on, break the cloud layer. Okay, don't break the cloud layer. Oh my word. Let's set it for 8,000. Alright, so I got some new goodies in the mail. Yay! There it is. Okay, so we don't need 8,000. We'll set it for 7,800. Oh wait, no, we're not that high. We'll just set it for an even 7,000.
Center maintain 1,000. That's the Indianapolis altimeter 2979er. GPS 63 Chicago, sir. Roger.
Looks like snow. So, got a package here. Let's take a look at it. Let's see what we got. See, that's a great thing about these shows. We may not have much to look at, but I sit there and I talk and I chat. I share a little bit about myself, and you get to. Oh yes. Okay, it says Flight Simulator 2002. I guess this doesn't work for Flight Simulator 2000. I was hoping it would. Okay, so I got FS Traffic 2002. Now I have the regular FS traffic
Chicago Center. After ND,
somewhere.
runway 22 left transition and cross ND, add and maintain 6,000. GPS 753, cross 4.5 miles south of Rockford, added maintain 13,000. Rockford's altimeter is 2977, clear direct Rockford. Colpic 235, connect Chicago, approach 125.0.
I'm not seeing it at the moment. Huh. I've got it somewhere. Is that underneath this? Yeah, there it is. Okay, so this here, FS traffic, is for Flight Simulator 98 and 2000. I've been using it on 98. This allows you to create your own air traffic.
Flight cargo 1467, change from alternate frequency 135.75. Flight cargo 1467,
And so
change altimeter 2983.
I got this hoping that I could use it for Flight Simulator 2000 because it says 2002. So I figured, okay, you're going to be able to use it on 2000 and 2002. But no. Make the world of flight simulation a busier place with custom ATC voices, enhanced tools, and 178 different combinations of airliners, liveries, and general aviation AI aircraft. This is as busy as it gets.
Approach 121.0. See ya.
Ooh, CD's a little loose here. I got this overseas. Had to wait almost 3 weeks for it. It comes with everything too. Oh, this is cool. The Spirit of Flight Simulation. What do they got in here? Okay, FS Traffic 2002. Strike Fighters. I'm looking for ideas of things to get. Captain Speaking 2002. That might be good. See, I need to find some stuff for Flight Simulator 2002 to try to jazz it up. Okay, British airports. I have right there.
Airway 31, connect Chicago's approach 128.2.
I have one of them, but I'm using it for Flight Simulator 2004. So here it is. So I got one of them. I need to get the other three.
GPS 753.
What volume is this?
Approach 121.0.
This is volume 4.
At 1800, descend maintain level of 280.
Search and Rescue Emma Field. Emma Field provides an immersive and fascinating experience for those who want a break from the concrete and heavy metal of international airports. For more than just scenery, it includes activities, sights, and sounds that capture daily life on a typical small field. We don't think any airfield has ever offered so much to see, hear, and do. Well, this sounds interesting. These all say 2002. Now, I've seen this VFR photographic scenery. It's like East and Southeast England, Central Southern England. It's all England. It's these here. See that? I've seen those. I've seen these before. Dash 8-300, DC 930. The Captain Speaking looks interesting. So these would all be the Dam Busters. World Airliners, Operation Barbarossa. Active Sky, WXRE. Man, if I could get that, the Active Sky, that would be awesome. Trying to find that, though, is probably not going to be easy. Let's take a look at the manual here and see if suggested system requirements. Well, let's look at page 2 here.
Yeah, 1800, descend and maintain flight level 250. Okay, flight 1282, Chicago Center, roger.
Yeah, it's just Flight Simulator 2002.
Sailing 2 Victor Papa, cleared to Aurora Airport via present position, direct
darn.
Peatone, Juliet.
Because I have
direct,
ultimate traffic
maintain
coming
8,000.
also. In fact, that might be what's in one of these other boxes. I can put this in my my box. Where did I put it? I think it'll fit in here. Put my FS 2002 in my FS traffic box. Yep, it'll fit in here.
And Cessna 2 Victor Papa, I have a Chicago Center reroute for you when you're ready to copy.
Alright, so here's another package that we'll go ahead and open up here. Let's see what we got in here. See, I don't want to use Ultimate Traffic on Flight Simulator 2004 because I'm using the World of AI. And I want to keep that going for that one. But I am thinking about using Ultimate Traffic Live for FSX. Yes! I can't wait to start using this with Flight Simulator 2004.
Read that correct, maintain 8,000.
FS Scene 2. This one is for North and South America. I already have... Oops. I've already got this one. And then I saw number 2 come up for sale. And I'm like, getting it. Alright. Then I got boxes, man. Yeah. Let's see what's in this box. This came from Germany. My goodness, how is this thing folded? This thing's taped like nuts. Ugh.
Associate 637, I think it's taken care of, the foot control says okay, figure it out.
Yeah, this didn't cost me. This wasn't cheap, but... Oh my goodness, these are brand new.
Chicago, 7% at pilot's discretion, maintain 6,000, delivered with altimeter 2979er.
Never had these before. If I can find 1 and 3... No, sorry, 2 and 3 would be perfect. The Apollo collection. This is the Airbus family. And then I've also got the business jets for the Apollo collection. There it is, number 4. So this... Oh, it includes a flight shop update. That's cool. And a new cockpit. So these, I should be able to import these into. I should be able to import them into FS Traffic for the custom traffic for Flight Simulator 98. Oh, I gotta find the other 2. Okay, so one more box. So yeah, I'm not kidding, man. I've been collecting flight sim stuff for this world tour because we got a long ways to go, lots of time together. And we're going to be doing all kinds of stuff. Yeah. This one is for Flight Simulator 2000. So, oh, this one's This one's brand new here. So it's Airport 2000, Volume 1. This is for Flight Simulator 98 and 2000. So yeah, I'll definitely use this. Okay, they're both for 98 and 2000. So yeah, I'll definitely use it for 98. But yeah, you've got Brussels Airport. It shows like a before and after. Look at this. That's before. That's after. So it looks like it does some really nice stuff. And I read some reviews, and the reviews are good too. So this has got Brussels, Frankfurt, Paris Charles, Tokyo, New York JFK, Atlanta Hartsfield, and Los Angeles International. And it includes some aircraft too. Which again, hopefully I'll be able to convert those and put them in through FS Traffic on Flight Simulator 98. Man, you should see what I'm doing with Flight Simulator 98. It's crazy. I am really having a blast with that one. So Volume 2, more aircraft. This one's got Chicago O'Hare, so we may have to fly back to Chicago O'Hare so that way we can see this airport. Sweet. We are going to be making our way back around Chicago. Let me see if I can.
249.
I was hoping to get this thing to still keep going, but see, I'll show you here. Okay, so we're going to zoom out. Okay, so our plan is we're going to be going to Dubuque. We're going to do a VFR flight up the Mississippi River to La Crosse. And I believe next up we'll be going to Dane, Trow. That's going to be a bit of a flight. Up here to Whitman. And then I think we're hitting Sheboygan, Waukesha, General Mitchell. And I think I put down Pewaukee, which is so we're getting real close to Chicago O'Hare again. I think I am going to be checking out Lewis University because there is scenery from the Scenery Builders for FSX, and they did Lewis University, so definitely need to make a stop there. But after that, we are heading this direction. So, and I'd love to fly over the lake. So I haven't quite decided if I'm going to fly up this way and hit Muskegon. I think that was the idea, was I was going to cross the lake. So I might do something where I'll do a long flight to Lewis and then work our way back up. And then take off from here, like across the lake. Maybe we'll do that from Chicago O'Hare when we land there again. We'll go like up here, and then we'll hit Muskegon, Kent, Kalamazoo. I don't know if we should do Kellogg. That might be a good one. Some of these flights I already have planned out, but they are flexible. Fort Wayne. I don't think there's anything else down here. So then we'll be going off the side, off here, and this is going to be Scenery Disc 11 for the Commodore 64. So that's going to cover like Lake Huron and Detroit, I think. Oh, no, sorry, that's not Scenery Disc 11. We're still going to be in Scenery Disc 9, but just barely, I think. Because there's going to be Ohio and stuff over here. But yeah, so that's the plan. Hold on, need to get my map and stuff back up so that way I can see it.
I need to land the runway.
But yeah, so that's the plan. And I definitely don't, I don't want to miss the opportunity of seeing the stuff that, these add-ons have to offer. So since there is something for Chicago O'Hare, we're going to need to at least make a stop back there. And we're going to be going back around that area and then heading east for a little bit, but we're not going all the way to the East Coast. We're going part of the way, but we're going to be going west. And I have a reason for that. It's like 59 miles. Shouldn't this change? $59.1. We didn't pass it. Holy crap, we're off course. We're way off course. We were blown off course. It's like 59 miles and it's going up. I'm like, what? We didn't pass it. Because I was locked into the VOR. We must have gotten blown off course when we were in the clouds. I mean, look at that. We were seriously off course. Look at these blocky clouds here. But they are three-dimensional. They may not be cloudy and wispy, but they are three-dimensional. I like how the backdrop here has a little bit of a haze. Well, if FS Traffic 2002 is anything like the first one, you'll be able to turn it on and off. So I guess with Flight Simulator 2002, because Ultimate Traffic will work on that one, we can switch back and forth. I was really hoping I could use it for 2000. Even though I can use the first one with it, I didn't want to use the same thing I was using on Flight Simulator 98 with Flight Simulator 2000. I wanted something a little different. My allergies are bothering me a little bit.
55 heavy at 390. 55 heavy that are under flight level 390.
Well, so we should open up some of this stuff and take a look at it. Okay, so FS Scene 2. Now the way that I record these episodes, I try to do them in blocks. So I like try to do all of my 5.1 stuff together in a block, all my 98 stuff in a block, because that helps me keep focus instead of just changing simulators all the time. It allows me to stay on one simulator and for a bit to have fun and then move to another one. So even though I'm showing that I got this now, I should already be using this for Flight Simulator 2004. I just haven't recorded those episodes yet.
753 Chicago Center, good evening.
Here is a selection of some great products available in our download shop. Airliner pilot, time for a career change. That's interesting. I had seen that. Traffic 2005. No. G44 Widgeon. Flying Club. That one I'm kind of interested in. Then there's World Airports, Los Angeles and Atlanta. And both of those work with 2002 and 2004. The effect on urban areas is simply spectacular. Over 1,500 new tiles make the default scenery a more beautiful place to fly over. So I kind of see this F scene as kind of like the Orbix overhaul for Flight Simulator 10 and Prepared. It's not going to be as... I'm going to tell you right now, the Orbix stuff is amazing. This is not going to be anything like it, but it's going to make a remarkable improvement. And I'm only going to use it on 2004, so that way 2002 doesn't look the same. I'll probably use default scenery for 2002, just so that way it looks different.
Right 31, 10X Chicago's approach, 128.
This is cool. 1 and 2. Or should I do it this way? There we go. I think they have a 3 and a 4, so I'm going to need to collect those.
Approach 121.0. We'll see ya.
I think you can buy them download. So I'll check on that. Oh, let's look at Airport 2000 here.
At 1800, it's going to maintain level of 280.
Oh, this one's not open yet, so I'll wait on this one. Airport 2000 is open now. Optimized for Flight Simulator 2000. Flight Simulator 98 compatible. Alright, let's see here. Don't take off without it. Flight simulation is one of the most enthralling and challenging ways one can use a PC. The game offers a bewildering array, or the genre, bewildering array of products and ways of spending your time and money. PC Pilot, okay, it's an advertisement for the for the magazine. Inside each issue of PC Pilot, you can get this. Act now and we'll give you 2 issues for free.
At 1800, it's going to maintain level of 250. That's your flight 1282, Chicago.
Still has a registration card in here. All right. Pilot's manual. My goodness. This has got some pages to it. Are there different languages? No. There's maps and stuff in here.
Direct, maintain 8,000. And Cessna 2 Victor Papa, I have a Chicago Center reroute for you when you're ready to copy.
London Heathrow is in here. Barcelona. Every time I hear Barcelona now, I think of Doctor Who. When David Tennant, after the 9th regenerated to the 10th, he's like, where were we? Barcelona. That's right. Barcelona. Okay, who out there watches Doctor Who? And which Doctor's your favorite? I like them all. I like all the Doctors, all the way back to the first one. I like them all for different reasons. So it's hard for me to pick a favorite, but I will have to say that I like Peter Capaldi. He was definitely one that I was able to connect with. Now, as far as the new one, the 13th, Jodie Whittaker, I like her. She pulls it off nicely. I mean, right when she entered the scene, she nailed the part. She nailed it. I mean, her mannerisms and everything, I'm like, yep, that's the doctor. She's fantastic. To quote the Ninth Doctor, fantastic. And so was I. Okay, so we got an MD-83 on here, King Air 350. King Air 350 is Flight Simulator 98. Oh, it shows you all the main panels and stuff. This is going to be cool. We'll have to try each of these aircraft. So on some of these... you know, in order to try the aircraft, we're not going to be flying from one small airport to another. That would be ridiculous. There'll be times where we'll go from one major airport to another major airport, but then we'll fly back and continue with the tour. So we will do major flights from one major airport to another, just so we can get a little bit of airline stuff in here. But we won't be picking the tour up from there. We'll be flying back, you know, or we might fly like a couple of legs before we get back to the main one. Yeah, because, you know, I definitely want to, you know, make use of some of this stuff. And it's got some adventures back here too, and it'd be fun to, you know, make use of those adventures.
Okay, no problem.
The timing. Okay, no problem. I need some shells now for this stuff. Oh, and I can't believe this Apollo collection is like brand new. Oh, this is sweet. I don't know if I want flight adventures or not. So, Apollo Collection 2 is the Boeing family. Apollo Collection 3 is Great Airlines. Those are the two that I need. I need those in order to make this collection complete. But I'll still be able to use these, especially with FS traffic. That was my thinking on why I was getting these.
Chicago, 7 to send up pilot's discretion, maintain 6,000, the roadway altimeter.
The DHC-2 Beaver, the DHC-5 Buffalo.
Exit at 2:35 to send out of flight level 230, then at pilot's discretion, maintain 6,000, roadway altimeter 2979er.
Oh, cool. So in the business jets, I don't know why Cessna 152 was on there. It's not a jet. It's got the Gulfstream 5, the Piper PA Warrior, Piper Malibu Mirage, the Hawker 1000, the Grumman GA7 Cougar, the Gulfstream 4, Piper PA31 Navajo, Piper PA23 Aztec, Piper PA44 Seminole, and Cessna 414H Chancellor. Oh, I'm going to have to try one of these. With new panels and stuff like that. That is awesome. And naturally, I'm looking for stuff to enhance Flight Simulator 5 as well. It's kind of hard to find some utilities. Okay, we're 30 miles out. We need to start going down. It's some of the utilities for Flight Simulator 5. Let's go down to 3,500. A lot of websites now have broken links. So it's like you can go there, you can see what it is, but the links are broken. You won't be able to download it. We are still way off course here.
GPS 785.
We haven't connected with this yet.
Rockford and cross 4-5 miles southwest of Rockford. At and maintain 13,000. Rockford's altimeter 2977. Copa 235, cross Turtle at and maintain 1000. O'Hare's altimeter 2973. Name's 814, contact Fiore approach 128.72.
I joke that these are like Minecraft clouds because of the blocks. But hey, it was better than the flat, thin ones. And that was in Flight Simulator 5.0.
Never 3347, contact Fiore approach 128.72.
Man, at this rate, we're gonna be at the airport like quickly. This is moving. If you hear in the background, there's a click. It was in sync. It's kind of off a little bit now. Okay, and a heads up that this airport, Dubuque, is not originally in Flight Simulator 5.1. I had to download that from flightsim.com, and it's actually part of a package called iowa.zip. So, if you're looking to reproduce these flights that I'm doing, or to do your own thing, keep that in mind. Okay. Underneath the clouds. Man, we must be way off course here. I see blue here, but I don't think that's the Mississippi. How come we're... Oh, there it goes. It's finally moving. Okay. I know I'm pushing the speed on this aircraft.
American 129, turn right heading 040. 40 back 129. 209 uniform fly heading 160 back to fit traffic. Climb and maintain 7,000. 7,000, 09 uniform.
Okay, we're probably going to be switched from center to approach here. I think we may not get approach until we start bringing our flaps down. This up here might be the Mississippi.
departure, Skyhawk 80377's with you, climbing to 3500 if we can, and on to Southwest County, South County.
0377 main, north of Highway 101. You can assume your own navigation, maintain these horns.
377, will do.
Just keeping an eye on everything.
Dallas 403, traffic 11 o'clock, 11 to 12 o'clock, 3 miles southeast on the Toronto, climbing to 4,000 meters to the site, maintaining visual separation.
Third side, Scott 403.
Southwest 1749 in Fable, can you start your climb?
1749.
All right, we're going to go ahead and turn ourselves in. We didn't do anything wrong. No, we're turning into the radio there, 095. We're getting close.
North 711, traffic still climb southbound westbound on Navajo, 3,500. We're looking 711 position. North 711, right at 12 o'clock, 5 miles westbound, and they're going to continue westbound at 3,500. Thank you.
So some of the stuff that you're hearing on the chatter, some of it's generic and some of it is
1622 out of 3.3
for Chicago. And you can hear it because I've heard Peoria, Rockford. Where's Rockford? I need to check the map and see where Rockford is at. I hear Rockford a lot. We're going to have to make a stop at Rockford.
Kansas 450, Contact under 124.2.
124.2, Cactus 450.
Continental 1622, flying heading 050.
Heading 050, Colonel 1622.
And Colonel 1622.
I think Rockford is south of the extended Chicago map I was looking at.
0,900 unverified. Appears to be climbing. Expect higher once you pass that traffic.
1622, Roger, 050, 10,000.
Okay, we are 15 miles from the airport.
Colonel 1622 under 050, heading intersect 039, radial to Oviedo, intersection, rest routes unchanged.
039 to Oviedo, rest of route train unchanged. Stand on present, heading Colonel 1622.
Colonel 1622, men heading to join that radio, flying heading 080, join 039 radio.
080 now to join 039 on Colonel 1622.
And Colonel 1622, that vehicle traffic 2 o'clock and 2 miles indicating 1,200.
Yeah, got him, TCAS was talking to us about him, but we don't see him.
I'm not doing anything with the transponder. I'm just clicking over there so it doesn't change anything else. Because I can't seem to unclick it to where you don't have that yellow mark there.
Departure NASA 906 with you, passing 3,700 to 1700.
NASA 906, March radar contact.
Okay, let's get this tuned in.
NASA 906, high maintain 14,000.
906 will be 14,000.
NASA 916, thanks for the tight turn, that traffic slow factor, additional traffic 12 o'clock, and 14 miles northbound, a C9, level at 15,000.
So is the airport this way? Okay. Let's go ahead. We're going to follow this. I'm going to trust my radio, my navigational stuff here. Because the VOR is at the airport. Yeah, if you've watched the other videos, you'll notice that there were some where I got lost in because the placements of the VORs in the airports were not, didn't match up with the Commodore 64 map. might be the airport over there to the right of us. Over here, I'm not sure. I do know that we are... Alright, autopilot is off. We need to start slowing down. Eight miles, we should be able to see it. Especially if we're flying right towards it.
Metro 1, go ahead.
Mile and a half. East, north 2700, like to be inbound Metro 5.
Metro 1, clearing to Bravo airspace, radar contact.
Metro.
It should be somewhere. Five miles and we don't see it yet. Come on, we're tuned into Dubuque VOR. We should be able to see it. Man, I don't want to have another flight where the airport's not where it's supposed to be. Come on, it should be out here. This should be the Mississippi River out here.
King at 59 X-ray, where you park. Signature. 59 X-ray, roger. Hold short of Delta for traffic on your left and contact ground 121.9, please.
Okay, hold short of Delta and going ground, 59 X-ray. Tower Richard 98 Heavy, ready to move departure.
Richard 898 Heavy, tower hold short, runway 25 right.
Hold short 25 right, Richard 898.
Tac Valley 7516. Taxi to parking, monitor 121.1. Taxi to parking, monitor ground 3516. Richard 898.
1 mile.
25 right, taxi to position, hold traffic.
Where's the airport?
Alright, position hold 25 right for Richard 898 Heavy.
Kyle 1947, wind is now calm and runway 25 left, clear to land. Helicopter traffic, no factor.
1947, clear to land, runway 25 left.
Okay, I know what the problem is. I did not input and activate it. So, remember when I told you that it's not in here? I wasn't kidding. Alright, so here's what you need to do if you're adding scenery. You have to go here to Scenery Library. It gives you an error. I've already gone here to double check stuff. So you go to FS5 World. Now I've added it, but I haven't activated it yet. because I wanted to do that while we're doing our video here. But what you do is you have to type in the whole thing here. So your C drive, Flight Sim 5, the folder that I put it in, you have to put scenery, and then the asterisk is a wildcard. So anything that has a .bgl is what you do. And then you hit enter, and sometimes it'll give you an error. So the only way I've been able to get out of that is you have to close out of the flight simulator, go back in, and then try it again. But when you do that, the rest of this opens up, and you can put in the name of it. You want to make it local, and then down here you want to make it active. So we'll click OK, and we'll click OK again, and OK again. Now let's take a look and see if we can find it.
One Hotel Tango, turn right next taxiway, contact ground point on it.
Okay, I'm not seeing it. We should see it, unless the guy that did the airport didn't do it right. Okay, so I had the wrong BGL file, and I just realized that the airports that we've been landing at, I actually put those in. It was not from what I downloaded. There's the airport. So now it's actually working the way it should. I'm going to go ahead and slow down here and try to get turned around. I thought it was weird when I was going to those airports and they were just simple buildings. I would have thought that the person who did the Iowa scenery actually did more buildings. Well, now it explains it. It's because I had put those in there. So I'll have to go and change the descriptions on this stuff.
Air 2020 Heavy, caution wake turbulence from the departing Heavy outside 11. Wind 360 at 4, runway 7 left, clear for takeoff. Takeoff, 227.
Okay.
1117, hold short of runway 7 left. Remain this frequency, hold short. American 1117, time. Go ahead. Roger, hold short of runway 7 left for departing traffic. Hold short now for departing traffic.
I'm trying to find a runway we can use.
Take your insight, runway 1 on the left, clear to land.
I can't tell. Okay, I think...
Southwest 998, wind 360 with 5, runway 1 on the left, clear to land, follow 727, short final. Clear to land 1 on left, Southwest 998. And we're not at 4 Charlie, turn right when able, contact ground control point 9, ground point 9, clear out.
Yeah, here we go.
Sundance 104 is checking in as we come up on the high rise, 28 right. Sundance 104, wind 050 at 5, runway 28 right, cleared to land. 28 right, cleared to land, Sundance 104.
Come on.
Another 165. 164, runway 1 right, cleared for immediate takeoff or hold. Delta 164 Heavy, we're rolling. American 1191's traffic will be at Boeing 747 departing prior to arrival. Start reducing, wind 050 at 5, runway 28 right, clear to land. Go ahead, we'll float up, American 1191.
Okay. Yeah, now this airport I didn't create. As soon as we get situated, I'm going to show you the files that I created. I put it into another folder because I was having trouble. Oops, there's a taxiway. I was having trouble trying to get the folders to recognize.
Southwest 658, runway 1 right, taxi into positional traffic landing and departing runways 28. Sir, position hold, 1 right, Southwest 658.
Just make the left turn on uniform and hold.
Left turn on uniform and hold.
Ground United 1286 Heavy, push back at gate 74 Norman 5. United 1286, push back for 25. Roger.
I think he had dynamic scenery in this, because I thought I saw something move. Now, according to Flight, is it Flight Shop? No, it was Aircraft Scenery Designer. There's an object designer in there. I haven't even messed with that. But you can make your own dynamic scenery. So I'd like to be able to get, and I think I'll be able to with this Apollo collection. That's why I want to get number 2 and 3. I can use these and actually put in some static scenery of some aircraft that actually have, you know, like the painting jobs on them, and so they don't look so generic. We need fuel. Oh, a little bit further. Oh, I got fuel. Okay, I see it.
Between 107 Heavy, stay on the ramp, and after you pass the Continental satellite, transition to the outer, taxi runway 25 right. Philippine 107 right. Southwest 32 Alpha, ready to hangar. That's roll 32 Alpha, make the left
Okay,
turn,
so we're here at Dubuque.
Right turn at 49, but hold short of uniform. 32 Alpha.
That's weird. I thought I created the airport for Dubuque or something. Let me go ahead and show you what I was referring to. Okay, so here we are. This is the directory here for Flight Sim 5. Now, here's the one that I've got for Iowa. And there's two files. 2 zip files. I was wrong about the name of it. There's iowa.zip. There's iowa10.zip. Iowa10.zip is the one that has all the airports in it. And unfortunately, I did not have that one activated. I had my stuff actually in there. Dubuque, this is it right here. This is actually from the Iowa.zip. He only did the one airport, and it did not show up. So we're going to delete that out of there. But this other stuff I had in here for something else, but there's like it's got rows and all kinds of other stuff. Now, if we go here to Phoenix, I was using this, and I was adding all this stuff. Okay, so like here's Waterloo. So I actually created Waterloo, and then I did Cedar Rapids in Iowa. La Crosse, we're going to be going to that one. These are the ones that were actually supposed to be in this folder. Since I couldn't get my own folder to work, I threw my files in here. Okay, and these also go with Phoenix. So these are the ones that I created. I created Waterloo, I created Cedar Rapids, Iowa City, and the next one that we're going to be going to, which is La Crosse. Now, let me see. Do I still have those text files? Let's see if I can find those. Okay, I know where those are at. So we're back in Flight Sim 5. This is it here, BGLGEN generator. Now, that comes from a compilation of stuff called Pilot's Shop. Okay, so in this there's something called a BGL maker, and this is what I had first started with because I didn't have the manual for the scenery and object designer. So when you open this up, here are the text files. There's one here, here. That was like Cedar Rapids by itself, and then I added the other airport. I was just starting out with this. So here's Iowa separate, here's Cedar Rapids separate, here's this one. And KLSE, where is that? I don't know. I don't know where that's at. But let me open up these files so that way you can see what it looks like. I'm going to open this one up. Oh, just bring it right here to where you can see it. Oh, I see. I've got, all right. Okay. So here is the actual text file. And it starts off with another text file. Let me see, is it how to BGL? Nope, that's not it. Which one is it? They have one that's used as an example. And then, nope, that's not it. Nope. Okay, so I think this SPL, this is the backup of the original file. But if we look at, that was too big. If we look at this, I made some changes in here, but it was basically a template that I could go in here and change it, and then you run a DOS command to convert it to a BGL file. This is what I started off with. So anything with an exclamation point is commented out. So here's Iowa municipal, but see, I did Cedar Rapids and Eastern Iowa. You put in like, oh, like my area is going to be from here to here and here to here as far as your coordinates. And then you put in the location of your airports, and this is supposed to put it into the directory. And we'll see if it actually did that. I don't, that's not really all that important. I don't care. But here is the actual information for the airport. So here is Cedar Rapids. So you have to put in all the information here, like runway, bar, I forget what it is. There's a text file that explains what all this is, and I have to have that up at the same time. You go like, what's the range that you can see it, and then here's your latitude and longitude. And if you have anything that's east or south, you have to put a negative in front of it. The altimeter, that was challenging, because if you don't have it right, then it looks like it's inside glass, like it's too low. You know, it looks like it's down below, but it's actually underneath the ground, but you can still see it. Just can't get to it. Or it's floating in the air. So here's the heading, the true heading of the runway. So like 91, 271, 136. But when you get over here to the ID, this is the ID that will show up on the runway itself. This is your width. Markings. They are right here, runway details. You have to pick the ones that you want and then add up the numbers. So like this is, if you want edge lines, it's 0, 1. If you want threshold, it's 0, 2. So you have to add 0, 1 and 0, 2. So if you put 0, 3 in here, then it knows, oh, okay, you want edge and you want threshold. And it just kind of goes from there. Surface. 1 is concrete. I think 2 is asphalt. Edging. This is another thing that you have to use a number for a specific thing. And seeing here is the Iowa airport. Now I commented these out because I was using, this is like examples from the actual template. You can put in your VORs, your ILS, your ATIS, NDBs, markers. This is your inner, middle, outer. Synthetic scenery, taxi lines, and this down here are your buildings, right down here. Now I've got these commented out, so I'm not sure why I did that. I think in one of the files I've got the buildings in there, so or did I put it up here? Oh, here it is, right here. So I've got one building. It's like I did a building at one airport, but not the other one. So I think, what was it? I think Iowa Municipal had the building. Remember the one building that was there? And then when we went to Cedar Rapids, there was nothing there. This is why. So this is located, let's see, 4138, -91. If we take a look at the airport, yeah, see, 41. Hold on, but they both say that. Here it is, right there. See the coordinates? 4138.35. And then down here, that's pretty close. And then you got -913278 here. And sure enough, there it is, right there. So this was for Iowa Municipal. So you can see that's how I started. I started with this text file. There is a designer program called Airport. When I tried to run it, it just gave me errors. It would not work. And it was frustrating me because it looked like a great program. I'll still see if I can get it to work, but trying to get it to compile and stuff, it was just freaking out on me. So I started with this until I got, this, and then it didn't have the manual in it. But when I was doing this text file, it actually helped because it gave me an idea, since I was programming this by hand. When I looked at this, it started to make sense. Maybe I should pull that up here. Okay, so here we are in DOS. Let me see. I think I have... No way, that's right. Yeah, it's in Apollo. And the program is Scenery Designer. That was not it. Okay. No, dang it. Just do that. SYD. Oh, okay. I gotta go into the SYD directory. Okay, KLSE. Okay, the reason why you didn't see it in the text files is because I did lacrosse with Scenery Object Designer. That's why. And I've got one for Flight Simulator 98 because I think I was just doing the buildings for that one, and then I've got one for the others. But you can see I was working on, and the airports were there for Flight Simulator 98. I was adding the buildings. So let's type in SYD, and here is the thing. So I'm just going to load up a file here. What should I do? Let's do KLSE. Okay. Yeah. So, and you'll see this when we get to lacrosse. You're going to see the runways. I did not put in taxiways because I wasn't sure how to do that just yet. I mean, you have to draw lines and stuff, and with this being a DOS program, it's not like you can sit here and click and all this other stuff. It's a little bit more complicated than that. You can't click on something and drag it. That doesn't work. But I put in the buildings just kind of like in the area that it's supposed to be, really. But yeah, so this is how this works. For runways, let's see here. This is off the screen. I can't see it. And each time you do this, you have to like load up the specific runway and save it. It doesn't keep it in memory here. You have to like work on each one. So like here's runway 4 and 13. So like if we load up 13 here, so it does 13 and runway 31. But I have to load up these pieces individually in order to work them, in order to save them. And then when you create the BGL file, it puts them all together. But here, this is where this all works just like the text file. It's just you have an interface here to make it a lot easier. But the runway markings, this is what I mentioned before about the number, borderlines, threshold. These all had those different numbers that you have to add up, and in order for it to equal, oh, okay, you want this, 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 but not this, this. Oh, I forgot I forgot what those type of numbers were called. But here you put in the latitude, longitude. And see, another thing that was causing me a problem is that I was trying a certain area and I was trying to put in the center of the airport. It kept saying, oh, you have to do it within this and that, and it just wasn't working. And I was getting frustrated. So I started off with doing the text file. And then when I got the manual for this, well, I was having more success with this. And then when I got the manual, I was able to do a little bit more. But yeah, so here you can choose concrete, asphalt, ground, grass. We'll go back. Your buildings. So again, this doesn't load up any specific building. I have to load it up. So this is all the ones that I created. So let's say, this is the main one for the terminal. So the texture that I used, white with horizontal stripes, that's just one of the basic ones for Flight Simulator 5. The loading zone, this means that from this center, like within a range of 108 nautical miles from this point, the building will load. It'll load in so you can see it. Kind of. I mean, that's quite far, but it says near load. I still haven't quite figured out this. I just know that it works. So, reference point. This is going to be the center of the building. You got tile altitude, offset altitude, and you can choose. Okay, is this a flat roof, or does this include a roof, which is that slant thing? Is it a pyramid? Is it an octagon? Then here you change your size. There's a lot of going back and forth. So if I'm working on Flight Sim 5, I have to literally work on it here, save the BGL, put it into a folder, load it up, activate it, look and see if it's working. If it doesn't look right, then I've got to deactivate it, close out of Flight Simulator, come back here. At least I had to do that with the text file because there was no visual for me to work with. At least here, I got somewhat of a visual so I can see the actual sizes of stuff. What were these? I don't know what these are. I think these are lights. Hold on here. Objects. Here we go. Okay, so I put a windsock here, and this was a fuel box that I put in there. These don't seem to, because I have to put building. So here are all the buildings. So here's like storage 1, storage 2. These are all the things that I named. This is the main terminal building, and I put a light here and a light there. So so yeah, that's what this is. And you know what? I'm going to go over this again on the next flight since this is specific to La Crosse. But I wanted to at least kind of show it here since we were kind of on the subject of the whole design thing and me going into the text file and stuff. I know I was kind of rambling here. Okay, but anyway, that gives you some idea. This airport I did not create. This airport was created by Dan Diaz. Okay, so Dan Diaz did this. And let's take a look at the other airports. Let's see if I can bring up the other airports. I'll have to turn mine off. Okay, Mr. Diaz, we're going to do this properly. We're going to show this stuff off. I tried to do it before and it's like nothing was showing up and I couldn't figure out what was wrong. I noticed that stuff started to work once I had the airport scenery designer installed. But I was creating my own airports to get practice. Let me see here. Let's try going to Iowa City. Okay, so what we're going to do, we need to go to scenery here. Go to scenery library. See the red arrow that I was telling you about? Go into scenery area files. My stuff is under Phoenix Sky Harbor. This airport came with the pilot shop. Someone had made that. There's like several scenery things that people had made. And I actually had like all of them installed, and then it erased everything. Oh man, it was a complete mess. But I put my files under Phoenix Sky Harbor. So we're going to, whoops, I don't know what happened there. We're going to edit, and we're going to deactivate it. Okay. Now we're going to put in the, here, let's go to slew mode here. We're going to put in the coordinates for Iowa City. Okay, we're going to do that by going to World, Set Exact Location. Now I'm going to use XZ coordinates because this here gives me what is it? You can't see it. Why is that? Okay, so this here from the Commodore 64 map will give me the X and Z coordinates. So we're going to type this in right here. Okay, so that was 17101. And then 15405. Click OK. And here we are. Now, if we spin around, you're not going to see an airport. Okay, there's an airport. I think it's because the Iowa one. Okay, yeah, mine is turned off. This is from Mr. Dan Diaz. Right here. So let's take a look at his airport here and see what it was that he did. Oh, you know what? I was trying to decide if I just wanted to re-record the flights, but I had gone over stuff in the during the flight, so I don't want to lose that. But anyway, here is this is the Iowa City that Dan Diaz did. And before, I couldn't get this stuff to work. It wasn't pulling up for me or anything. I think it's because I didn't have scenery object installed, and so it's like, what are you trying to put in there, Killer Gamer? Because I'm not seeing it. But yeah, so let's see if I can do a full window here. There we go. So he did the cities. I had the cities and stuff back there. I just didn't put the BGL file in for the airports because for some reason they weren't working. They do now. But see, here you go. There's a tree that comes with it. There's the taxiway. There's a little pole out there. You know, and he's got, you know, hangars over here too. Okay, so this is Iowa City. Cedar Rapids was the other one. So you remember, you didn't see all this when we landed at it. What you saw was what I put in, which was just a couple of runways and I think a building. So this is Dan Diaz here that did this. We're going to go ahead and put in now Cedar Rapids. Okay, that's part of his scenery. Okay, there it is. There it is. I was going to say I didn't see it. He's got cars and all kinds of stuff. So the taxiways are white here. Oh, there's some scenery that's moving. So you're supposed to be able to do dynamic scenery, and I haven't learned how to do that yet. But this is the work of Dan Diaz right here. And it looks like he's got terminals over here. Or yeah, he's got, I'm not sure what that is, but he's got like a parking thing. I forgot what that was called. This is kind of weird there. Yeah, there's one that's taken off there. So yeah, so both of those airports were done by him. I think Quad City was fine. Well, that was in Illinois. That's why I was having problems with Iowa stuff. And La Crosse is not in Iowa; it's in Wisconsin. So that was not in here at all. So Dubuque and Iowa City and Cedar Rapids. Those three are the work of Dan Diaz. The only one that we used out of those three was Dubuque. The other two you saw were my cheap two runways and one building sitting off to the side. So, but like I said, it gave me practice, and as we're going, I know there are going to be some airports I'm going to have to put in. I've already looked ahead at some of my destinations, and there was at least one that I could not find a file for, so I will have to build the airport on that one. Anyhow, I guess we'll end it here. I've been rambling a little bit, but I hope that this has at least been useful as far as the scenery object designer, as far as creating an airport. We'll go into more detail. What I'd like to do is the one airport that I need to build, we'll build it together. We'll build it together, and I'll make it a separate video. That way, in case you are wanting to go into Flight Simulator 5 and relive the memories with that, or maybe just make new ones with it, and you're like, you know what, I need to have an airport here, or I'd like to build this here and do my own thing, you'll get an idea how to do that. Because yeah, these are old programs. So all right, well, anyway, I appreciate you joining me. I know this video has turned out to be a lot longer than I expected, but I hope you find it useful. And we had some fun opening up some packages and stuff that came in the mail. Anyways, thanks for checking things out with me and hanging out with me, and hope to see you on the next video, because you'll see the airport that I created. It's nothing like this, but it's one of my first ones that I did with the scenery object designer. So hope to see you. Take care. If you thought this flight was interesting, then you might want to check it out on these other flight simulators that you see on your screen. It's just a fun way to relive old memories and see how things changed over the years. Be sure to subscribe to be notified of any new videos, and I'll see you on the next flight.